Hello Internet, I've got a special guest for you guys today. Do you want to give him a clue?
Clue about me or just
It's
the sound?
a clue about you. That was really irrelevant. That's just
Glitter!
really. Hello Internet, I've got a special guest on my channel today. Why don't you give us all an audio clue?
Buy my book, it's linked below.
Okay, there we go. It's Louise, everybody!
It's me.
I'd like that was good.
Now
Well,
you have to link it.
okay, so here we are again.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Babana.
Louise is back.
Babana.
Oh, look at this acapella.
This is really
We
bad.
should be in Pitch Perfect.
Yeah, it's the new Cup song.
Guess
Ba,
who's
ba,
back?
ba.
Back again.
Ba, ba, ba. Ba, ba, ba.
Again.
So, the last time us two were together was, of course, the greatest YouTube collab of all time.
All
Our
time.
list of awkward moments.
Yes, it was.
And the thing is, we haven't seen each other for a while over Christmas. Because, you know, you go
Busy.
home and things happen.
You make it sound like terrible things have happened.
We haven't seen each other for a while because of, you know, drama.
The great fallout.
The
we
great
had,
fallout
the
of
scandal.
2015.
I hate you. I don't. I love
No, you don't. That's good to clarify, because they'll just believe that.
Do you love me?
I do. Of course I love you. Pressure to say yes.
Yeah.
As you all know, when we're together,
Together.
the planets align and terrible, awkward things happen. And I think what... Do you just miss the Hunger Games? It's just irrelevant.
When we're together, bad things happen. Not like world catastrophes, but
So, thank
like,
God.
it's all. Yeah, thank goodness. I'm not socially inept, and you're not fully socially inept. But we're both enough socially inept.
But when it comes
so
together,
that when we go together,
disasters
we make
always
a
happen.
monstrosity.
And I think what happened was because we hadn't seen each other for a while,
we were pent up.
it built up
Built up, and then
to one evening, one fateful night.
about a week ago.
Did you just fart?
No,
What's that noise?
I didn't. I would have told you.
Okay.
You know I would have
thought
told
I just
you.
heard a little pop. Okay.
I can't believe you just asked me if I farted.
I heard something.
One, I would have told you, and two, what if I had those tried to be discreet? Don't everyone get that?
There's only
What's
4
wrong
million
with
people
you?
watching
Like,
this according
did
to our
you
last
just fart? No, I didn't. So, what? You just kicked
It's
the
fine.
camera. Okay. My friend Kaylee, who is a YouTuber and who is from America and had come over from England, decided that she would surprise me with just a lovely friend night because we hadn't seen each other for a while and it's just nice to get together and have like a little surprise
So she
friend night.
thought it would be really good to invite
Yeah.
loads of Louise's friends to a special evening to just make Louise feel good. Which, what
Yeah.
a nice idea. A happy
Lovely.
friendship
Kind.
appreciation
Yeah.
surprise.
Kaylee knows me very well and she knows that I hate surprises. Not
Yeah.
just like, oh, I don't really like surprises, like something inside me, like a little switch in my brain.
It's a bit much.
Just, I have a complete meltdown if something's a surprise. I have to know what's going on in the day.
You
I
can
like
tell
control.
people an amount where it's still nice, but for somebody to do something drastic, it can be a bit of a shock. You can feel very anxious if you think something's going to happen. I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. There's like
Yeah.
a happy medium where you
Yeah.
know the plan.
So I'd already had quite a challenging day.
That's
I
a
was
good
in
way to put it.
London. My suitcase had been stolen.
That is traumatic.
Yeah.
You lost your suitcase, so
Yeah.
this was already a bad day.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'd been to meetings all day and I was quite tired and a bit overwhelmed, but I thought, you know what, I've already booked the hotel, I'm wearing clothes, we're going out for dinner, but I assumed it'd be every time I've gone for dinner with my friends, it's like Zzz's or Pizza Express.
So
or
you
just like,
thought it would just be a like a
Wagamama's.
cheap and easy Italian restaurant, and
Yeah.
this would be a casual dinner,
Yeah.
just catching up with your friends.
margarita pizza
Just-
and a Diet Coke. I was wearing just like a plain, like just a fun kind of dress, nothing glitzy, but just like
Which is fine for just
Casual.
going to get some pizza.
Yeah. And I was like, right, my head is set on Zzz's, which is my favourite. We're going to go there and that'll be fine. And I had said to my sister, who's a student, come along. And she was like, I can't afford it. And I said, oh, don't worry, I'll pay for you.
It's just a pizza. That's
Pizza,
fine.
don't worry about it. And she's like, okay. So I get to the hotel, and my sister, who knew every detail of the surprise,
Yep.
but also knows about my surprise
Your
issues,
surprise phobia.
said to me, Louise, I should probably tell you it's not Zzz's.
You're not going to a little pizza restaurant.
Yeah, at which point I was like, what? She said, we're going to a very fancy
A
restaurant.
very fancy restaurant.
Think like Pretty Woman when he catches the snail
Yes.
kind of
Snooty
restaurant.
waiters, the whole deal.
Incredible. So I'm immediately Googling this and feeling very out of my depth, not dressed appropriately. Can't do anything about that because I don't have a case full of clothes or makeup.
But maybe you'll manage. Maybe you'll manage.
Yeah.
But then some guests arrived to your hotel room, didn't they?
Yeah, so I thought it was just me, my sister, and Kaylee.
No.
And then there's a knock at the door, and in comes Dan, Phil, Dean, and Hazel. 4 people who are very excited for the night out, dressed up to the nines.
We've been told it was fancy.
They
Yeah.
knew it was fancy, so they're looking like freaking prince and princesses.
And
yeah.
after Louise had, she'd lost her suitcase. She just got told it was a fancy dinner, and then we all piled into the room.
And I
Fancy
just
dress.
lost it. I am a mess. Something in my brain has just gone,
Mm.
no. So I just start bawling my eyes out. I realise if you are not affected by surprises, this sounds ridiculous.
And maybe, why would she be so upset about something like this?
I know it sounds ridiculous, but I can't help it. So I'm like, not just doing like a little pearly tear of like, oh, I feel a bit nervous. Like, I am full on like...
Kim Kardashian. So we arrive, we knock on the door, Louise's friend opens it, and we're like, we haven't seen Louise in a while, I wonder how she's doing, or what kind of day she has, it's going to be good to cut. And we were just like, oh, okay. Is this like a funny thing that
At
we
this
can
point,
learn?
I've taken a king-size Twix out of the
You'd had
minibar
like a sad
to be
Twix
like,
to help you feel better.
Didn't feel better. Phil tried to help.
You know, a little pat and like, oh Louise, everything's gonna be fine.
I think he was like, do you want a Kit Kat?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I don't want a Kit Kat.
So we just kind of stood awkwardly, like.
went on for a while, and in the end we decided we need to reset. Reset the night.
You did, didn't you? You thought we should, wouldn't it be good if we could do this all over, but without me crying?
I sent them out of the room and made them re-enter and pretend it was the start of the night.
Louise actually made everybody leave the room and pretend to come in again.
Not in a
now that
jokey way.
And it kind of was in a jokey way, and yet kind of not. We were just like, let's just go with it. She's a mess.
She's a mess.
She's a mess.
She's a bloody mess. In there, they're like, hi, and I was like, hello. And we started the day again.
Let's just go.
Let's just get
So
out.
we had to split up into different cars. So me, Phil, and you all got on a taxi together to the restaurant, which was fine. Had some
It
nice
was fine.
chats. You'd calmed down.
I'd calmed
We were
right
ready
down.
to just accept the evening for what it was and go with it.
I was just going to accept that I was wearing leggings. I don't even think they were that fresh. I think they were ones, you'll know ladies, sometimes you know when like leggings are a 2-day thing and I was on the 2nd day of leggings.
You thought you were going to a pizza restaurant. When we arrived, though, we realised it wasn't a pizza restaurant. No, it was.
No, it wasn't.
It was very fancy.
When we arrived to the very fancy restaurant, before you go into the restaurant, there's this lovely foyer area.
Cloakroom.
Where you can put your coats. You don't have to put your coats like on the back of your chair.
You give them to a lady and she gives you a ticket to pick
a
up.
very
Yeah.
posh lady who is there to take your presumably luxuriously expensive coat.
She's used to, nice people with nice coats.
with nice
She wasn't a
coats.
lady in her 50s.
Yeah, she was
She
a
had a nice
lady.
job. It was
Yeah.
a nice establishment.
I said, if I handed over the coats and saw her put them on just the one hanger, I went, oh, our coats are having a threesome. She just looks at me and I was like, we're not all going to have a threesome.
No. We're not having. We're just.
We're
She
just
was
having
saying
dinner.
that because they're all the coats. The
coat.
coats
It's
are
the
having.
coat.
Let's
the
run
coat.
into. Okay, bye.
coat.
Bye. Let's go. Great
Meanwhile,
start.
Phil's just like,
I'm just embarrassed to be around these two
yeah,
people.
well, we're like, we're not touching
So we
each
thought,
other's
let's just go in
genitalia.
and sat down.
Sorry.
Just genitalia? What? Oh, the
Because
threesome.
if we had a threesome, we'd have to touch.
Yes, good to clarify. There was no genitalia touching.
I've imagined it. Sorry.
Mine's gone to dark places.
Oh wow, I'm there.
Stop! Get out of the cave! Stop imagining it. I'm not
doing
imagining
it.
it.
Don't make me Don't make
Okay.
sounds.
Right.
I need a minute.
Okay.
I truly don't. Just not
Deep
having a
tangent,
minute.
not deep, just
Oh, God.
a tangent. We go into the restaurant and it's very fancy and intimidating. I think is that how you describe the atmosphere in this restaurant?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was sore afraid. I didn't want to be there, if I'm honest. I'm
We're
sorry,
young as
Katie.
well, aren't we?
Yeah, it
We're
was
just
full of sort of lots of 50
people,
plus
businessmen,
men, and they're,
old
like,
couples.
lovely wives.
So the man was judging us. The waiter was judging.
We
He was
were
a very
being
snooty
judged.
French waiter, and he judged us. And then we were early.
Maybe he had the threesome comment as well.
Maybe, probably got off to a bad start. And we sat down at the table. However, all of our friends were 20 minutes late somehow, coming from the same place, which meant that me, Phil, and Louise just had to sit in this fancy restaurant round a table of 9.
Yes. And they kept coming over and being like, "Is the rest of the party arriving?
When
Will
are
be
they
arriving?"
coming?
They seemed like genuinely annoyed at us. I was like, "We're the winners. We got here. We're here."
They must have thought that, like, to get
We
into the
switched
restaurant,
them,
we'd
yeah.
booked a big table or something, and that we
Yeah.
just weren't gonna order anything or something. We were like,
But
no, they're coming, we promise.
So eventually everyone arrives
Mm-hmm.
and we all start looking at the menu. Everything's fine. And the waiters come and put the napkins on our laps, which
Which is invasive, isn't it? I mean,
it's a lot because it's someone whose hands you don't know near your neck.
and they're just kind of like, can I
Yeah,
just,
don't touch my
just.
stomach. Don't touch
Okay,
my stomach. You don't.
It's like when you were waxing my leg. It's like, oh, I'm having my thigh stroked by a
Yeah, but
French
at least
guy. I
you
didn't
knew
ask for
me.
this.
At least you knew me.
But thank God, after all of this, the first win of the evening happened.
the bread.
The bread.
Oh,
As we all know,
holy macaroni.
the best thing to live for in this world and restaurants specifically
Warm
is the bread.
So
Bread and
they
butter.
bring out plates, loads of plates of bread.
Mm-hmm.
To accompany the bread, they bring out butter.
Yeah.
They've not brought out the bread and butter in equilibrium though.
No.
Oh no.
No.
Oh no. There's clearly, I mean, I can see it straight away.
This isn't
Not
gonna work.
enough.
This isn't gonna. No.
Not enough butter.
Because let's be real, people. Okay, if you're gonna enjoy bread and butter,
Slather
you
it.
need to put a good amount
Slather
of
it.
salty butter on the
Yeah.
bread. Okay, we're not like, yeah, let's just put a bit. No, get
I
it
want,
on
like-
there.
I want
Just
like pate thick.
yes, just put
of
the
butter.
entire butter on it, wrap it up in a cylinder, and shove it
Yeah.
down your. That's
Just
what
get
you
it
do.
in. I want it to be like a sausage roll.
So there were 7 of us, and only 4 butter plates.
I will just add with the butter just for your visuals, but they were on tiny circular plates and
Mm-hmm. Shards
it was like
of slate.
yeah, little
Little-
slate shards, a slard with pyramids of butter.
They were more like nipple.
Tiny.
You can say butter nipples. They looked like little buttery nipples.
Little butter nipples.
But it was small, and we were like, this isn't good enough. And the thing is, for some reason, the waiter must have decided that I was the guy in charge when
The
we
leader
first
of
sat
the
there. I mean,
pack.
obviously, I just looked like the dominant alpha male gorilla. You know how it is. It was like that guy. He's the one in charge. Phil must be his
We-
nephew or
We all
something.
know Hazel's the alpha male.
Yeah, alpha. That's true. That's absolutely
Yeah.
true. So I took it upon myself. I will ask for more butter, which went a bit weirdly because I turned around and the guy was there.
But just at every time you turned around, immediately someone was there. Oh, there's
Teleport.
something.
It was a bit invasive. This is gonna sound really awkward and rude, but I thought the guy didn't hear me, so I turned around and I saw him holding loads of more butter nipples, and I went like, oh, never mind. But then I realised he was looking at me, and it looks like I went, can we have more butter, please? To the waiter.
It just looked like Dan was like incredibly.
Can we have more butter,
More
slave?
butter. So then this guy is like not sure what to do about the butter. I'm like, no, we will take the butter. At which point he hates us. But we've ruined it.
It's worth
We're
noting.
20 minutes in.
Nobody asks for more butter in a restaurant, by the way.
He
So
hates
when we
us.
asked for more butter, he gave
It's
us a
not
look
Cheesecake
like
Factory.
who
He hates us.
nobody in my 10 years of working at this restaurant
Has
has
asked
asked
for
for
another butter.
more butter. So you know what he
More
did?
butter.
They gave us butter.
He had like a vendetta. Every time we looked around, there was more butter.
It's like they
coming
were
out.
mocking
They
us.
were mocking us.
They had 10 plates of butter on the
10
table for 7
plates
people, and they just pushed 4 of them towards me and Louise, and we were like,
I
okay,
was offended.
okay. Yeah, I was like,
I know what
right,
it looks like, but I don't like
it's,
butter that much.
it's what it looked like, and we did finish the butter that they
We didn't
gave
eat
us.
all the butter, but that's by the by.
Okay.
It was delicious.
And then we ordered drinks though, didn't we?
We ordered a one-night stand.
That was the
drink.
name of the
No, that
cocktail.
was the
It just so
name of the
happened that
drink.
me and Louise both ordered a cocktail.
We didn't have a one-night stand.
No,
No.
or a threesome with Phil.
No,
But we did say
no.
to the waiter that hated us, can we both have a
Yeah, so we were both like, can we have a one-night stand? And then we were like, oh, a one, funny.
Waiter.
Oh, he didn't care. He was just like, I'm going to get you drinks and pour them over your face.
But we had it and it was really good,
It was
wasn't it?
delicious. Phil ordered a geisha girl.
Phil, he loves the fruity cocktails.
He does.
He's just about the sugar, to be honest. So Phil orders the geisha.
Yeah, and it comes out on this like little platter.
Petite little tray
Lovely little tray, and then the drink is in this like weird container with a lid.
with a lid.
And then on the tray as well, it's like fresh cut
Flowers
flowers.
arranged, and we were like, well, Dean, who came, he
A
had a
beer.
beer. It was like, alright, I'll just have like a lager or something, I'm fine.
Lovely girl,
And
lovely
Phil was like,
beer,
I'll have the
yeah.
geisha, please. Oh, it came with a rose on the
Lovely.
plate.
Not even a plastic rose, a real flowers.
It's
They've
just
gone to
who
a
we are,
florist.
okay? Then we had to order the starters,
Time
which
for the
was
starter.
fine.
It was the kind of restaurant where I'll tell you what our starter was called. It was called the Sec Veloute.
We had to Google what that meant. We both looked at it and we were like, this.
What's a
so-
veloute?
I'll Google it. Okay, got out my
What's a
phone.
veloute?
It turns out it's kind of like a soup,
A thick soup.
viscous, gelatinous soup.
Soup.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very, very turgid soup. Also, it wasn't hot or
It
cold.
wasn't cold. It
It
was
was
tepid,
tepid.
definitely.
It was a
yeah.
tepid soup. So
It looked like a grey, gloopy
it's just grey
mystery.
goop. A bowl of lukewarm grey.
But I'm
goop.
sure it was really fancy and
The
good.
best mushrooms you've ever had.
So
in
we
your
were
life.
kind of like,
Digging in with our
this
spoon.
is fun. We
The-
can't see through it.
The real fun comes when you put your spoon in and you find that within the goop
Just in the middle, under all of this black
Under it.
stuff,
is a poached egg.
an egg, a surprise
Ta-da!
egg in the soup. So
More
we're-
surprise. Surprise!
Surprise!
Also, there was a crouton in there.
Surprise.
Just the one.
After all the surprises you'd had that day, surprise bread was the last
Surprise,
thing
you're
you
choking
needed.
on a cube of toast.
Do you even remember what we had for the main course? That just went by in a blur.
No, I don't. We
Another
had
thing that
some
we couldn't
more food.
pronounce.
I know
probably.
I ate more bread and butter.
More bread. We ate so much. It never ended. I will say this was one of the longest meals of my
We were there for like a
entire
week.
life. Literally, I think it was like 4 hours or
Yeah,
something.
it was
So
long.
there came a moment where we just had a pause. And at this moment, Phil decided he needed the bathroom because we'd all, consumed a lot of water
Yeah. So we had on these like very thick, fancy napkins.
that they
And-
laid awkwardly on our crotches.
Yeah. And usually you stand up and you just like put it on your chair or the table or it just slips off
And
the floor.
sometimes you forget that it's on your lap, you stand up and you're like, oops, sorry, fold it, put it on the table neatly, because remember, you're in a restaurant, okay?
Phil forgot.
Phil forgot
He walked
the
with such speed, such
He,
velocity.
because he needed the toilet,
Like,
okay? He was a man on a mission. He power walked.
The napkin
it didn't slip on.
flush to his crotch.
He walked through the restaurant
With
with
the
the
napkin
napkin
on his crotch.
stuck to his crotch. We were right in the
We were like,
corner,
"Phil,
okay?
Phil."
In them,
Oh, it's
and
too
it
far
got to
away.
a point where it would have been we'd have had to shout to draw his attention to it. So everyone was like, "Phil, Phil, Phil." Oh no, and then he was just
It's too
walking.
late.
The waiter was obviously staring like as if this mess of a table couldn't get, and people were just turning around and just,
Looking.
there was a woman that was like,
Then it slithered down his thigh.
it slowly started to fall off, so we were like, Phil, and then it
And
kept
he's just
crawling,
like,
crawling.
la, la, la.
And then just before he got to the edge of the room, it got caught on his foot. So he was just dragging this napkin across the floor of the restaurant, and it fell off, and he didn't realise. So Phil, after dragging it across the floor in his crotch, didn't realise that he just left a napkin in the middle of the restaurant. What could make this worse?
The waiter came.
The waiter picked it up.
And like made a point of folding
He brought it
and
back
putting
and
it
went,
back.
and left, and we were like,
While me and Dad were like,
we're okay, we're over
thank
us.
you.
We're sorry, thank you for doing like that.
By this point in the
We're just
evening,
exhausted.
we've had our starters, we've had loads of drinks, we've had our main, we've had a lot of bread, and I was feeling quite full.
As you do towards the end of a
As you
meal,
do,
you
feeling quite
feel full
full.
of the things that you put in your mouth.
So I was wearing a dress that had a little belt on it.
Stylish little belt.
A stylish little belt.
That's a good
And I had thank you.
I'm just trying to apologise in advance for what we're about to remember.
So I had the belt to like a good amount, like a normal day amount.
For the right amount that you needed the belt tightened to during the day,
Yeah.
as you do.
Then I ate loads, and I was like feeling it like it was like digging, and I was like
Slightly
a bit
uncomfortable.
I was like, everyone's talking. Like there's 7 people. around
Someone
the
started
table.
cracking a funny anecdote,
Yeah,
so we
I
were
was-
all busy,
So
we were
I started
talking.
just doing this, and I was like, just gonna undo it.
It's a good
slightly.
moment to undo
And then
the
I
belt.
had fully undone it. And then, like, with his spidey senses, like his Louise and Dan awkward senses.
Because remember kids,
We're
whenever
connected.
anything is gonna happen, we're
we're
connected.
there, we're there.
At this exact moment where Louise was like, it's okay, I'm just gonna undo it. No one's looking. I just looked at Louise, and then my eyes just drifted down to her stomach, where I saw her in the middle of a.
Vulnerable.
And just in this
Just
moment,
froze. I don't know why I
we
did.
both froze, and then my eyes just drifted back up to yours, and we were like, we've had okay, it's
See,
we've.
we know what's happened.
We had an entire conversation in like 5 seconds.
With
I was
our
like, okay,
eyes.
right. So, I just saw you undoing your belt.
And I was
you
like,
just
I'm
saw me
sorry
you
you
saw
that.
I'm sorry that I saw you doing that
I'm
because this is
sorry
very
that
embarrassing.
I saw you
but
doing
it's okay. Like I'll pretend I didn't say
We'll
you
both
won't.
pretend.
We'll just
I
and then
am
we
sorry.
just turned around and we were
Turn
like,
around.
for about 5 seconds we were okay, weren't we? We were like,
Yeah.
that it happened.
But we were
just,
both in our heads screaming like, we know it happened. So then Dan and I just both slowly look back at each other as if to be like, it happened.
and then just went, and we
Like-
lost it. Just
Like,
10 out of
Not
10.
just, not just like,
Just I'm talking. I was like,
I was like slapping the table. I'm like,
I was like, I was just producing little noises like.
yeah, you do that funny. I was full of like, and you were going,
And everybody on our table, including the waiter that was
surrounding-
obviously lurking right behind us, just looked at us like, what the fuck is wrong with these two? And we were just like, we're sorry. And then they were like, what happened?
Then
If something
everyone was
funny
like,
happened,
"What's happening?
you have to
What's
tell us.
happening?"
And we were
And
like,
we were just
no, we can't tell. It's just, we can.
like, you weren't going to be the one that told, and I was like,
No,
beside
you weren't going to admit it in front of everybody. And we were just, my God, it was just the nail in the coffin, to be
No,
honest.
it wasn't. The nail in the coffin was when the waiter came over again, and Dan went like this. He went, whoa.
Oh my God! I smacked the waiter. Oh right, okay. I'm the man of the table, obviously. So I had to call for the bill. I thought I would have realised this after I pushed him,
That
but
he
I
was,
was
like,
like,
there.
"Excuse me, guys, can you have the check, please? I'll do it this way to demonstrate."
Okay,
So this is what
you
happened.
can actually really do it.
Okay,
Do it.
so this is what happened. The waiter was stood there, and I went, "Excuse me, can I have the?" I slapped the waiter. I went, "Excuse," and then in my I was like, "Oh no, I just slapped the waiter." And then I went,
I'm like,
at
elbowed
full
me.
velocity, elbowed Louise in the tits. Like,
Yes.
it's like I was trying to hurt you, and I didn't.
The waiter's annoyed that you just slapped him.
I just slapped the waiter, and then he saw
And then-
me elbow my friend
then
in the
he's seen me
boob.
like, man down.
So you're like, ooh, and I'm like, I'm sorry, did I? We just went to second base in the middle of the restaurant.
Great. So the waiter brings the bill. We get over that. Everyone has seen Dan hit the waiter and then elbow me in the tit.
But we had a great meal, didn't we?
We had a great
And the
meal.
best thing about fancy meals at fancy restaurants is they often do things called set meals, where you can
Set
get
menu.
set menu, where you can get 3 courses for a cheap price, because obviously
Yeah.
no one could afford to do all of them, but you can save.
Yeah. So we thought we were ordering off the set menu.
Yeah.
No.
We
had got
we
it
realised
wrong.
we'd been reading off the wrong menu and we
We
just
ordered like a
ordered
5-course
mid and all the bread.
yeah,
Just doing it.
Michelin star meal. It came to each £130 each.
We were all fine. Well, I mean, we weren't fine. We were all horrified, but we were like, it's a fancy meal. It's okay.
They
But
had expected it as well. They knew they were coming in.
we thought
I
it would be
didn't.
kind of fancy.
Let's not forget, I'd invited my sister along.
And gone, yeah, I'll pay
I'll
for
pay
you. Of course
for
you can.
you.
We're just having pasta. No.
So £260 later,
Oh my god.
I'm leaving the surprise. I didn't know.
Happy Friend Day, Louise.
I'd just like to add to go and stay in the hotel that I had booked to stay in with all my lovely things, which I no longer had. So I just paid £260 for a meal to go and sleep naked in a hotel with none of my stuff, and then put on the same leggings and dress the next day to go home.
And that was the We All Love You Louise celebration dinner. What a success. And I doubt we'll be allowed back in that restaurant. So there we go. That is the story of our awkward fancy meal incident. As I said, several months of us not hanging out, compressed into just one catastrophic evening. Wow. Oh, this is why we should
We love each
restraining
other.
order though is probably a good idea. The best thing is we need things to look back on and put our lives in perspective
Yeah.
when we're older, which is what this was for you. Yes.
There we go, we did
That's what
this
you
as a
choose. We did it
service.
for you so you have more self-esteem about how you don't elbow people in the boobs or
Yeah, that hurt. That
offend
hurt.
waiters
Or
just-
be the butter
just
gluttons.
or be the butter. That's a great phrase, butter gluttons. It's the name of our fandom. Just leave a comment if you're the butter gluttons.
I don't want to fucking be the I don't want to be the head of the butter gluttons. I do not want to be the head of the butter.
Let's
That's a thing now.
not
That
make
will be a thing. No, I don't want to be like butter glutton.
So there we go. Leave us a comment down below if you manage to just make it to the end of this ordeal. Experience. Leave a comment if you relate to any of the things that we've done. We made a video over on Louise's channel that you can watch by going to Click a Face. All of her links and mine are down in the description if you want to see a bit more of our
I
lives.
did that.
It sounded like a sheep.
Yeah. Subscribe to me. Please.
They're really
Please.
convinced now. Yeah, just plead. Please. Okay. Bye.
Bye.